if the pattern repeats from 2 weeks ago. But in this game, East Burwood, what can they change to get back into this game? I know it's only 15 points, but it feels like it's a bit of a margin already.
Yeah, their midfielders can't get sucked into the stoppage. That's one of the big problems they've got. You've got to have outriders around stoppages, so when you do get your hands on the ball, you've got clear outlet and release from that. It's something Foest Hill have done very well, but so far East Burwood, when they get hands on the ball, they don't have anywhere to go. They get tackled, they give away a free kick, so they haven't got any fluidity, they aren't able to move the ball away from stoppages, so we just draw stoppage after stoppage, whereas Foest Hill, they're more reluctant. You were seeing a couple of times Pincott try and slap the ball as far away from the stoppage as he can, try and get the ball into space, run onto it, transition the ball into their forward line, which gives them space to work in before East Burwood can get numbers back. Because East Burwood's ball movement has been so slow, Foest Hill able to flood numbers back, shut the game down there, force a stoppage and transition the ball.
The two words I would have used as Stuart Wine would be handball recedes.
Here's Gavin Casey to take us away for the second term in the first semi-final Division 4.
Maroondah Highway end is where East Burwood are going. Middleton wins his own tap and kicks it inside 45, but they can't win the next kick, but it bounces out to Anjemi. Close to the boundary line, he tries to spear a pass in, but it was a dribbler in the end, and Foest Hill hold up on the defensive arc near the boundary line. So that's just symptomatic of the game. Kicks aren't executed for East Burwood.
The other thing is that East Burwood forwards are not isolating themselves. They're too clumped together. It makes it too easy to defend.
At ground level, it's a contest for the ball where it's handed over by Mowat again. He was closely checked by Perry for East Burwood. Rucks go at it. Foest Hill might just get out of this contest, tried to. But again, the pack goes onto the ball and it's a wrestle for the ball, and this time Newman has to hand it back to the umpire. Let's go boundary side with Brett Preston.
It was really simple, boys. He just said be better at the contested ball.
Again, we'll have another exhibition of the contested ball. Close to the boundary line, out of side. For East Burwood slightly into the forward line. Cleaning it up there was Dale. Ground level though, it's still close to that passage of play has just been around that defensive 50 area for Foest Hill, and East Burwood haven't been able to get anything going on the outer side, so it's eventually gone out of bounds, and it'll be a boundary throw in with Middleton to come over the top of his smaller opponent in Stoneham. Now he works himself to a front position. Ground level ball. It's a fight for the ball. It's a scrap. Short kick by East Burwood. Gets inside 45. But again, the umpire says play on. There's still an open ball. Perry quickly kicks it into the pocket. Galino gets onto it from the pocket. He nearly hooks it back, but he hooks it too far from the left side and misses to the right side for an out on the full.
That's where Galino can get dangerous. If the ball gets on the ground, he's going to have it over Gavin Willoughby. It's where Willoughby is able to move him around and try and draw him into the contest is where he's going to have the edge himself.
Powell's kick cleared all players. Perry sent it right back in towards the Galino direction, knocking it over Dean and Maguire for a boundary throw in. Right half forward line here for East Burwood, still searching for their first major of the afternoon. They trail by 15 points, 2.5 minutes into this second term. Kicking towards the Maroondah Highway and this today in this quarter. Snap around the body from the stoppage, Maxi Wells. Well, as soon as it got boot to a ball, he knew it was going through and he called it through. And that's the spark that they needed, the Rams. They get the first goal on the board in this second term, reducing the margin back to 9 points. They're half the score of Foest Hill, who are 18.
Oh, look, it's good that they've been able to kick the goal, but I just watched that ball in then, and East Burwood had two players that started 40 metres away from the contest, and they both ran in. It created nearly 18 players around the ball. They've got to have some structure in their forward line where they push players out a little bit more.
Well, can they get a bit of a run on? There's been
encroachment
whistle, so it's going to go the way of Foest Hill, looks like. It will. So Stoneham, the big ruckman, got the handball away. That was silly. Got it away to Dale, but had some support up towards the half-forward line. Foest Hill go. Cardamone leads out in the race. Hit the deck. The umpire said it was fair. Kick by East Burwood up towards the wing position now. Cardamone still down. Picked up there by Wills, who kicked the last goal inside forward 50. Ball carries all players. First player to meet it out in the race is Burmeister, unless the paint beats him, which it does. And a boundary throw in.
Cardamone was wide open, his chest, and he just got barreled, and now he's winded.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a broken rib.
Could be, but he's trying to run it off now if he can.
Oh, I'm sure Brett Beston will keep a close eye
Oh,
on it.
very agitative by Gould. He ran straight at him and chest barreled him again.
Well, a kick on goal, and I think by Brett Kay, this might have gone through from the stoppage. He just scooped on it, and on the left boot, he's put it through. So East Burwood have got 2 goals within a minute, and all of a sudden they are right back in this contest, only trailing by 3 points 4 minutes into the second term. 18 plays 15. Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
There's a bit happening off the ball, boys. Poor Michael Cartermain came in and he was getting a fair bit of attention. Nick Pincott in there trying to save him, but yeah, he looks a bit ginger, but we'll keep an eye on him. But at the moment, he's back on the ground.
Brett, they look to be inspired now, East Burwood. Finally got some momentum in the contest.
And look, and they won both those contests, didn't they? They've won the ground ball both times.
Rucks go at it. Middleton wins at the ground level, and here goes East Burwood from the stoppage. Wills gets underneath it at centre forward, taps it to himself, but the Forest Hill numbers get there. Dale was good in the contest, comes in for a late tackle over the top. So they're just starting to get first hands and starting to get some control out of the stoppages. East Burwood. The umpire will ball it up forward of the centre circle for the Rams going towards Maroondah Highway. Mowat gets onto the ball. He's trying to weasel his way out of the pack. His kick's a bit of a tumbler, and East Burwood get in the way, and it's going to be a free kick to Fent, who got front position and got taken over the shoulder. So Fent will pick himself up with the ball. Back of the square, he hands it off to the runner. He wasn't quite got the handle of it. Brown lets it go, and Mowat's going to run onto it, and he runs off for tackle, and now the hand pass, and off they go. Forest Hill from the back of the square. Long ball going towards Strawn. It just doesn't get to him on the bounce, and Burmeister transcended from half back to the pocket with a long kick. But that's what you can do at Walker Park, Mitcham. And now they're in attack, but it's out of bounds to where the scoreboard reads. 5.5 minutes gone, second term. East Burwood closed the gap, 2-3-15. Now only trailed by 3 points to Forest Hill, who have 3 straight, 18. It was 15 the difference at quarter time. Good work by Kay in the stoppage. Gets it back to Middleton, the ruckman. Now they're trying to get some run off the back of the square, but Kennedy has to pick it up again. But he gets the kick to centre half forward. Bouncing ball. Nicely sharked by Perry. Perry gets it over his teammate, and Galeno runs into an open goal from 30 metres out. Low ball through the middle of the goals, and now East Burwood are in front. 6 minutes into this second term, they trailed by 15. Now they're in front.
Well, you can see just then exactly what we talked about.
Handball received.
Transference handballs there. They got their hands out. They didn't just put it on their foot. They worked their ball out. Some nice work in the forward half. Some clever work by Perry. Nice hands off to Galeno and finish it off well. They opened them up with their hands. They've got to get their hands going a bit more as well. But let's see if Forest Hill can recover from this and respond.
70 goals now to Adrian Galeno for season 2018. Just repeating the score out in Division 3 elimination final. It is Heathmont leading by 10 points at quarter time. Keep the scores coming through at Footy EFL. Ball hits the deck. We've got another restart here. East Burwood find themselves back in front after 3 straight majors in the first 6.5 minutes of this second term. Umpires paid a freak. It's going the way of Forest Hill. A little bit of argy-bargy happening in the middle. Sort it out, boys.
Kay was a bit of a push-off.
I think it's actually been reversed here, so it's gone out to Kay. Goes long inside forward. 50. Good kick by Brett Kay. That was fantastic. You've got to go the percentages there, and a strong mark's being taken by the big man Jared Stafford, who's playing his bit forward, playing his bit in the ruck. He had a man running to the goal square then, but he thought better of that situation. He'll only have to kick at 30-35 to increase the lead out here. They currently lead by 3 points. Stafford comes in and he thumped at it and he pushed it right, and that's exactly where it stayed. So minor score is the result. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 8-minute mark of this second term. And East Burwood, well, they've had plenty of scoring shots. It's 7-3 at the moment, but they only hold a 4-point lead. 22 plays 18.
Quicker ball movement, and they were able to separate their forwards there. So they had a one-on-one there. They were able to separate the Forest Hill defenders and not able to let them come over the top and defend 3 against 1. So much better from East Burwood.
I don't mind him missing that, because the fact that he's a big, tall target there, and I love the way he just threw his opponent away from him to take the mark. So gives your players down the ground some confidence to know you can go to that area. The change in the game, apart from the movement of the ball of East Burwood, is They've been incredibly physical all over the ground. They have really put it to Forest Hill with their physicality.
Some pretty impressive monkey work there from Mark, who's involved down at the Scoresby Football Club to jump over the fence and throw the ball back. Well done, Mark.
He's very multi-talented. Don't worry about that.
He is. He's everywhere as well. Everywhere I go, I see Mark.
I think
so. Creek to bring the ball back in, Gav.
And I think Stafford's problem, he got close to the man on the mark. That's why he pushed it right with his kick at goals. The kick in went long to half back, and Forest Hill couldn't get the mark taken by Burmeister, and he'll hand it back to the umpire for a ball up. So Forest Hill under a heap of pressure. How will they hold up in this second term? Comes out to Wills, out of the pack, close to the boundary line. He props the ball to the leading option. Galeno got pushed under, he reckons, but that was good defence by his opponent, Willoughby, and it'll be a punch out of bounds. Boundary throw in 35 metres around from East Burwood's goal.
They got a little bit better spread at the moment, East Burwood. Their players not all in at the contest.
Stafford wins the attack. He just drags it back with a big palm back into the corridor. Forest Hill will wake to that option and get hands on the ball, but it's a ball up right in the middle of the forward arc for East Burwood. Stafford takes a run and go at it, but he's beaten to the ball by his opposite number at ground level. It's a wrestle for the ball, and Owsley and Gibbons were there, and Gibbons couldn't break free for Forest Hill. So it'll be a ball up in the defensive area for Forest Hill. Just seems like the momentum's changed and they're just holding on for the moment. Stafford again wins the tap. He pushes it to the boundary line where he's got some runners trying to skirt around the pack, but the boundary beats Davis to the ball, and it'll be a boundary throw in. Still 40 metres around from the goals of the Rams. They've piled on 3 early in this second quarter. Throwing back into play. Stafford wins front position. Uses his height to tap it forward. And Gould has got it. Is he going to bend it from the boundary? No! The umpire's gone a long way to the left, and he'll signal from that side that it's just a miss. East Burwood, 3-5-23. Now lead by 5 points. Forest Hill stagnating on 3 straight, 18.
Forest Hill now need to get their hands on the football and slow it down a little bit.
Creek. He just threw it straight down the throat there of Middleton. So Jai Middleton wasted no time, went short, and that's the right option too. He probably could have gone back and had a ping there, Jai, but from the kick going forward, he decided that going closer is the best option, and Alexander Pagliaro will have a shot from 50 metres out. I called him with the G in the first time, in the first quarter. I've taken it away. So Alex Pagliaro, we're right behind him here. He makes no mistake, does he? I think he's put it through. He has. He had enough purchase on it. The 2-finger salute goes through, and East Burwood, well, haven't they started this second term on fire? 4 goals now at the 12-minute mark in the first semi-final in Division 4, and they open up a handy 11-point lead.
And that's where it's interesting. I don't think he was meant to be the target then. I think Middleton was aiming at Galeno, who was just behind him. But you've got multiple options now, which is really important. And again, Middleton taking control of the space. Not so much doing a lot, but controlling the space around the ground.
Galeno will let him get away with it because he put it through the big sticks.
Stafford did the ruck work for East Burwood, but Pincott wins it. It's been called touched off the boot, so no mark can be claimed. East Burwood do nicely in defence. They'll kick it to the middle of the ground. We're waiting for it. Was Forest Hill. Can they burst onto the ball? Again, East Burwood do well to turn the tide. Quick hand pass out wide to Pincott, though. Loads it up for Forest Hill. Past to Cardamone, who's shrugged off his injuries. On the bounce, he gets to it, but he goes to ground with the ball, and the defenders swamp on him.
He had time, Pincott. He should have hit the target there.
Yeah, but a player of his ability should have, but it was nice outside hands to them, opened them up a bit.
45 metres from Forest Hill's goals. Quick kick out of the pack, didn't go anywhere for Forest Hill, so getting onto the ball is Owsley, but he's tackled as soon as he's got it, and it'll be another ball up from just where it was.
See, that was the problem. Got the ball, tried to kick it. He had 2 players out and quarterback, didn't use either of them.
Stafford uses good body work, but it'll come forward to the pack. Johnson can't get open space where he loves to use the ball, so he's been tackled to the ground. 5 metres in advance for the last ball up. We'll have another. Can they get on the outside of the pack? Forest Hill winning this contest. Throwing his weight around was Murphy. The ball's in the middle of the pack. It's hard to know who's got hands on it. The umpire says, give it back to me. So I'll give it over to you, PWS, because this is congestion at its best.
Pye throws it up now. Big fly there by Stafford. Knocked it to ground level on the bottom of the ball there. Davis, he's still sitting there. The umpire's not going to ping him because Cardamone's right over the top of him, and we'll hand it back to the umpire.
Forest still very flat-footed around these stoppages at the moment, where in the first quarter they were hitting the contest with a bit of momentum. They're not doing that now, and because of that, East Burwood are able to get first hands on it.
Big fly over the back there by Gross, got the knockdown, but a little quick kick goes out of that defensive zone. Pincott will be the first player to meet it. It did a wrong and on him, so Kay was able to pick it up for the Rams. Looping handball over the top, found McGowan on hands and knees. Just released it in the nick of time, also on hands and knees. Pagliaro, who kicked the last goal. Umpire said, we'll just calm it down. We'll restart it. It's just outside the centre square here, out on the far side of Walker Park. Big crowd is out here today watching this big clash in Division 4. They're linking up quite well here. Here's Mao, got the handball away. Forest Hill going goalward towards the Pym direction. Bouncing football, but just couldn't find the front spot and eventually rolls through, trickles through for a behind. That's the first for the day for Forest Hill. And 15 minutes tick over in this second term. They're trailing by 10 points, 19 to 29. East Burwood holds sway.
Flying shot for Mousley. It turned out to be a shot. I reckon he was just trying to get it forward, but eluded Pym in the goal square and missed to the right side. Long kick out by East Burwood. Underneath it was Stafford. He couldn't draw it into his grasp. So at ground level, he has to jump on the ball again. Where a few go in with him. Ball flies forward with hand pass by Forest Hill, but nicely defended by Stevens. Going back there with the ball nicely. Brown makes his way through the back pocket, eluding all the players. He kicks it to the wing. Spoil comes in from Forest Hill. Stafford's there to pick it up at half back. His hand pass was smothered, and the smother means it goes dribbling out of bounds on the wing. And it'll be a ball in and a whistle. There might be blood rule or a really bad injury to the East Burwood player. I think that's Middleton. It looks like he's been knocked around.
I think he got a bit of a finger to the eye in the contest, in the marking contest.
So they've stopped play because obviously for blood rule. So I don't like with eye and blood in the same sentence.
Well, it could be his nose, but he certainly, when he...
yeah, it is his nose.
As soon as the ball touched him, went to that area, went straight down. So,
yeah. So
I think it was accidental.
Yeah, he's got a blood nose, so he's going to let the blood run for a little bit and shake himself off and go again as the changes are rung with Kennedy coming back onto the ground. And we'll just wait for players to get in position for the next stoppage, being a boundary throw-in on the outer side of Walker Park. So 16 minutes gone, second term. East Burwood trailed by 15 points at quarter time. Now they lead 29 to 19. 10-point lead. Let's go boundary side with Brett Preston.
Yeah, the big fella just walked past me, boys. He's just got a bit of a beaten up snot, so definitely a blood nose. Should be back in hopefully a couple of minutes.
Boundary throw-in. Stafford wins the tap. He just paddles it to the boundary side where the numbers will go towards the ball, and there's a free kick going to East Burwood first there, and it's a free kick to Kay on the outer side. So Kay looking at options. Long ball, 1v1. Forest still in good position, but they can't claim the mark. Eventually, no, it doesn't go out of bounds. So it's a hurried ball by Wills. Loads it up to Galino in the pocket. He had a shot there before. It's come out the back. The bouncing ball eludes him and goes through for a score. A minor one, that being if it bounced up instead of forward, Galino was in. But it's a minor score. East Burwood 4-6-30, lead by 11. Forest still 3-1-9, 17 minutes second term.
They want to get Middleton on quickly because it changes their structure completely in their forward half when he's not.
Oh, Bearmeister, a big kick out. Timmy Johnston, what a fantastic mark that was. Part of the man bun brigade today on the right boot. Thumps it up towards the half forward line. Bouncing football out in the front of Fisher. Pym came in from the side. Fisher at ground level on the left boot. Tries to square things up. It was a good kick. Cardamote out in front. He hit the deck. It almost got him on the chest. Umpire will come in and bounce this one. They squared it up quite quickly there. That was a fantastic mark by Tim Johnston. It was a perfect ride.
Cardamone didn't go with his hands, tried to take a chest mark.
Yeah.
Big chance here for Forest Hill. Stone and the big flyer in the ruck contest. Ball hits ground level. Fisher was there trying to get boot to ball. Kennedy for the Rams. He was dispossessed. And it's the old school stacks on the mill, hot potato style. Everyone wanted to get their knees in. The umpire just clearing it out. We'll have a ball up 40 metres out from the Forest Hill goal line. They need something. They need a spark. Charging through, getting the handball out just in the nick of time was Perrin. Inside forward 50 they go. Here's Johnston this way, that way. On the left boot. Set sail for goal. Was perfectly weighted. Cardamone takes it and Cardamone kicks the goal. Fantastic play there, Michael Cardamone. I almost wasn't sure if he knew that he'd taken the marker, if it was touched. It didn't matter anyway because he puts through his second, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Forest Hill get a timely one as well. Cardamone puts through number 54 for the year, and the margin is reduced back to 5 points.
I'll tell you what, Johnson's the one that gives them the spark. He's the one so far that in all of their goals have basically had some sort of an influence. So
he's a real barometer for them, the way he's able to burst from away from congestion.
And he puts the ball in dangerous positions, which is good.
Back in the middle, Walker Park. It's close back to a 5-point game with East Burwood leading at 30-25. Clearance won by McGowan. He's a bit of a dribbler, so the bouncing ball eludes a few before it's picked up in defence by Forest Hill. They're under a heap of pressure, and Jimmy Scott hands it off back to McGowan from the pocket. He puts it on the ground, and eventually it's a conceded point as he would have missed it to the right. 4-7-31 East Burwood. Forest Hill a 4-1-25 6-point lead time on second term.
Halfway through the second term between the Basin and Heathmont, and it is Heathmont leading 27-26. A very close one out there at Central Reserve. Ball comes back. McGowan got dispossessed. That was a strong tackle there by Jim Johnston. Rewarded with the free kick, putting his hand up for the best player on the ground early in this stage is in the first semi-final out at Walker Park. So Forest Hill trailing this game by one straight kick. They led at quarter time by 15. Spotted up Gibbons. He's been very quiet, Lucas Gibbons. He's an ox, he's a bull. He's what you want around the football, especially in the finals game. Goes towards the PIM direction. The kick went wide. It went very, very wide. And lucky to actually stay in for a boundary throw-in.
And that's where Johnson was disciplined. He went back, he was going to go down the line to the negative lead, went inside, which is what he had to do, and Gibbons has kicked it to the negative lead into the wrong pocket because it was Pim. Need to be better than that.
He was clearly outnumbered if it got anywhere near him.
Yep.
So just waiting for the ball to come back over. It's gone missing. Let's go boundary side to Brett Beston.
Just while we wait for that ball to come back, boys. Jai Middleton's been on the bench getting a fair bit of attention, but he's up and about, and I think he'll be back on very shortly.
Great stuff, Besto, riding solo this afternoon. Pye throws it in. Knocked down over the top there by Stafford that time. Strong tackle by Perry of the Stephen variety.
Well, I laughed when Stephen Perry was standing next to Cardamone after he kicked the goal. He's like, I've got to test him out a bit, and he went for him, and then he got charged by 4 Forest Hill players. He's like, I didn't really want to have to do it.
Nicely done here. They've worked it out. Perrin got the handball away to Kennedy. Spun on a through left foot pass, but it went straight down the throat of James Powell for the Zebras. On the right boot now, he's got Gibbons all by himself. So Gibbons a couple of touches in the last few minutes, get the handball away, they kick it, they square it up with a PIM direction. Standing in the front spot out there was Perrin. Snap around the body though, has gone through for one behind. So all of a sudden you feel like the tempo for Forest Hill has lifted in the last 5 minutes.
And again, they're putting the ball in dangerous positions. Get it out of the pocket, put it in that spot no defender likes, 35 out straight in front.
22 minutes gone, second term. It's East Burwood 4-7-31, leading Forest Hill 4-2-26. Short kick out to Murphy. Found himself with an easy mark in open space. So he's going to go long. He's put a big right footer to the wing. It goes over his intended, so Forest Hill might be able to get it out from the outer wing. They've got some runners with Creek getting onto the ball, but he was quickly tackled to ground at centre forward, so it's going to be a ball up. Forest Hill doing nicely to trap it in their area for the last 5 or so minutes.
So I thought that was a nothing kick from East Burwood then. To a nose situation, should have steadied it down, short pass instead.
Tackle flies in from Gibbons, so again we'll have another ball up at centre forward for Forest Hill as they've started to stop the rot that was the first 10 minutes from East Burwood. Middleton gets knocked off the ball. He's trying to kick it. Getting to the ball is Davis, but he's been taken down in a tackle. So again, they're not winning much space either way. And it's going to be a ball up this time on the 45-metre arc. Centre forward for Forest Hill. Rucks go at it. Ground level ball, smothered ball from the kick, but it comes back to Johnson or Owsley. It might have gone over the pack. Is that going to be a goal? Owsley just put it on the boot. It went straight. It went long. It went over the pack and it's through for a goal. We've got Forest Hill back in front. 5-2-32 to East Burwood. 4-7-31. Goals out of nothing there from Owsley.
Although it was a rush kick into their forward 50, it still went to a dangerous spot. It went to that. The intended target was that spot about 20 metres out directly from goal. The fact that all the forwards had gone up and it went over the pack meant it just carried through for a goal. I mean, it was smart play there because you can't kick to that dead pocket continuously. And Steve Pym has got to learn if they're going to try and target him, he can't lead there. He's got to lead to the fat side of the ground or straight up the middle. He can't lead to that dead pocket.
One thing, Owsley's first kick was smothered, so I think everyone got put out by that. And when he got the second kick, they were all shocked it went over their head.
Well, it's still in the middle. We had a restart. It came out to Perry. This was Stephen on the left boot, straight down the throat of Burmeister, though, for the Zebras, who's happy to take off, happy to thump it 50 metres. He pushed it wide. Should have probably just stopped propped and waited up a little bit better there, but Parent was out in front, but ball is going the way of Perry. So East Burwood trying to stem the flow here. They started off this quarter magnificently, but Forest Hill have answered the challenge and worked themselves back into the clash. The kick goes up towards the wing position, knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds.
There doesn't seem to be both sides. There's not a lot of patience with the footy. They need to just be a little bit more patient with the footy. They continually kick it to congestion.
Yep, I'll certainly agree with that. Just doing a little pirouette there was Johnston, who got dispossessed. Now the Rams a chance to go forward, but driving it in towards the big ruckman there in Stafford, who did well. Handball over the top there to Kay, who kept the ball alive. He was looking for Brett Kay as well. He's got dispossessed.
Surely was holding the ball.
Free kick is going the way of East Burwood here, so it's been paid for holding. I think that is incredibly lucky.
I think it was there, BWS. He never actually got clear possession of the ball, was grabbed and taken down in a tackle, so I think it's the right call by the umpire.
Cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Boys, I don't think he really ever took possession of that ball. I think it was definitely there.
I'll give him credit for being smart because he knew he was going to be tackled as soon as he grabbed it, so he let it roll off his arm.
Gives the handball away, gets the ball on board, and Maxi Wills just went, I will take my second goal if you do not mind. So Kay gave the handball off, and East Burwood make no mistake. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 26 minutes gone here in this second term, and they lead by 5 points, 5-7-37 to 5-2-32. I'm always happy to be outvoted, Frosty, especially when you've got Besto, who you give a lift to every week, sticking up for you.
As a coach, I can't stand it when players have got a kick like that and they just handball off to a bloke running free to run in and kick a goal. You've got to be better than that as a defensive unit.
Well, I hope he doesn't have a kick for after the siren at the end of the match to win the game. What's he going to do? As the ball goes out of the middle by East Burwood again, charging to the Maroondah Highway end underneath at Stafford. He's been manhandled. Play on. Will it be a goal for Advance? Advantage is paid. Goal to East Burwood. I don't know where to look. It was quickly kicked forward by Perry. Galeno gets the goal in the goal square. Stafford was going to look for another kick, but it's Galeno with his second, and East Burwood 2 in a row. Move on to 6-7-43, leading by 11. Forest Hill a 5-2-32. 27 minutes gone, second term.
Bigger news than that. Johnson's just been taken off the ground for Forest Hill. Didn't look good. It's gone straight into the box. Don't know what had happened, but he was limping and certainly didn't look good for Forest Hill.
Well, Brett Beston will be right across that. East Burwood, well, they finished this term fantastically. Is there time for another? Is there a challenge to be mounted here by Forest Hill, who now find themselves with an 11-point deficit? I love the work there of Jared Stafford, where as soon as he won the free kick, he was clapping, he was cheering, and he didn't even have to kick it in the end. The result was what he wanted. Little backhander over the top there. Denham goes after it, charging through. There was Owsley. He got to ground level over the top of him, Steve Perry, and we'll have a ball up just inside the centre square, almost centre half forward.
They've been incredibly physical this quarter, East Burwood. Very, very physical all around the ground.
Pye throws it up now. Big knock there by Middleton. Went every bit of 20 metres. It comes out. Galeno was in the front spot there. Nicely done there by Elijah Dale. The umpire said just Let's hold it up and let's go boundary side with Brett Beston.
Yeah, Timmy Johnson, I've just spoken to the medic, boys. He got a bit of a head knock, but he's no concussion. He should be fine. I think probably back on in the third quarter.
Thanks very much, Brett Beston, doing a great job boundary side this afternoon. Umpire throws it up, it's deep, got it down, little snap around the body by McGowan, bouncing football towards the left behind post, and it goes through for a minor score.
New nickname, Roaming Besto, because he's going from bench to bench.
He's getting up his steps. He'll hit 10,000 today. There's no doubt about that, and his wife will be happy about it. And as it comes out now from the half back line, little paddle on, little snap around the body there by Maguire. Might work out okay here for Mowat if he can trap it. Handball over the top. They're working the ball forward, but chopped off nicely there by Luke Brown for the Rams. Got it away there to Coates. Umpire's blown the whistle. Free kick to East Burwood. There was no advantage in that one, and they'll maybe just even try and just chip it around and just hold up the play. They've certainly owned the last few minutes, but if there's time, they should be continuing to go on their merry way, Gav.
The umpire off the play called the free kick, so there's no advantage played. Brown just kicks it over the head of the intended player and Wills, and he stands there going, I'm not that tall, as the mark's been taken in defence. It's in the hands of Dale. Dale goes through the middle to centre half forward. Punching coming in late was Fisher to get it to ground level. Flies out to Denham. Now's a big opportunity leading to Pym. Bumps off. He's in the pocket. If he grabs it, can he have a shot? No. He fended off Rixton. He had the ball to pick up, but it dribbled out of bounds, and the old legs wasn't able to chase it down.
It was classic Pym though, wasn't it? He just eased him out of the contest to turn him around. He knew exactly what he was going to do.
Secretly, I was hoping he could make it and throw a left foot at it.
Rucks go at it, trying to run through. Now
Fisher!
big goal to Fisher. Kept it in front of himself. The man with the long sleeves gets out of the pack and kicks the goal. And it's Foest Hill back in it. 6-2-38, trailed by 1 goal. East Burwood a 6-8-44 late in this first half.
And look, that was just poor defensive work from East Burwood. They just didn't get into their structures early enough. A little bit lazy. Brown got caught out of position in no man's land, and they were allowed to kick that goal way too easily. And Stewie would be very, very upset with that happening at the 30-minute mark of the second quarter, going into half-time.
But equally, on the other side, I think Martin Stillman, front and centre, Fisher, that's how you play the stoppage, and he just owned that situation. Brilliant play. Ball back in the middle here. Pincott getting wrapped up quickly as the siren sounds to announce half-time out here at Walker Park. This second quarter almost went 31 minutes, so quite a long one. But what a game we've got on our hands. That's why we've come out here today. The first semi-final, it's effectively an elimination final. The winner will go on, the loser will go towards Mad Monday. But East Burwood lead this game 6-8-44 to Foest Hill 6-2. 38. The major goal kickers on the ground for East Burwood. There's 2 to Adrian Galino and 2 to Maxi Wills, while the only multiple goal kicker for Foest Hill is Michael Cardamone. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast today, streaming live around the globe on EFL.org.au. We're going to have a couple of messages from our sponsors, and then we'll come back. We've got Ray Baird and Wayne Brasher in the hot seat to take you through what happened in that first half and their expectations, what's going to happen in these final 2 quarters of this big clash out here today at Mitcham.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online.